Hey y'all. Okay, so we're gonna be doing a reading. For some reason, I have a feeling that this may be like a self-love kind of reading. It's just kind of like the vibes that I'm picking up. And just because like of the cards that I ended up picking out today. So when I pick out my cards, I have like a whole like 3 shelves like full of my tarot cards, and I'll just kind of like go over there and like, you know, look with my eyes, like, you know, which ones. And normally like certain cards or certain decks will stick out to me, so those are normally the decks that I use for my readings. So I don't know, the cards that I'm using today I haven't really used, I feel like, in a reading in a while. So let's see what let me see. Let's see what the universe wants us to know today. Oh my gosh, that did not work out how I wanted it to. All right, so I'm going to start off with this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. So let's go ahead and we're going to get like a theme for the reading. So I'm going to get a card. I guess it's going to be 2 of them. Okay, so the first card we got is the first ray of power. And then we got the cosmic heart, cosmic Christ. So kind of the energy that I'm picking up is there's an expansion of knowledge. Also an expansion of the heart. Sorry about the noise upstairs. I'm seeing also like there's a release. There's a release, or like a release of some sort of subconscious patterns or beliefs, limitations, however that may apply to you guys. And the reason being is because I feel like there's just this, it's almost like a divine intervention is the feeling that I'm getting. I'm going to read I'm going to read these cards out of the book real quick. So the first ray of power says, the first ray of power is energy of conscious destruction. It can be used in a healthy way to eliminate the past and allow for a fresh start. The first ray also carries a frequency of leadership. It can assist you to stand in the truth of your light so others can find their way by it. It helps to strengthen your willpower so you can accomplish any task you choose. The Ascended Master El Moria brings you his particular blessing and encourages you to believe in your own strength and take the initiative of what matters most to you. Exactly. Like I said, there's some sort of like higher wisdom coming through. It, like I said, divine intervention. Something is coming in to remove something, right? And like I said, I do feel like it's more internal. It's more of like I said, a subconscious, whether a belief, a certain pattern, you know, that we keep doing over and over, a limitation that we've placed on ourselves. Whatever it is, this energy is coming in to take it, to remove it. So let's go ahead and connect to the cosmic heart, cosmic Christ. It says you are elevating your vibration towards a frequency of limitless supply and unconditional love. Spiritually, you are reaching for a high level of attainment. Past pain and self-defeating behaviors shall no longer have a place in your heart. Yeah, exactly. Wow, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Something is taking place in your life, okay? Whoa, I don't know what I just saw. But they also want me to tell you guys that Saturn is in retrograde. I think it started today. Is today the 4th? Today is the 4th, and yeah, and Mercury went direct yesterday because it's been retrograde for like the last month. We are still in the shadow period, so that lasts for like 2 weeks or so. So just so you guys know about like what's going on with the planets, there's probably a lot more. I just, like I said before, I love astrology and stuff. It's cool. But I'm not like really into it as much. Maybe I should start. But too, the only reason why I brought it up is because all these planets were kind of like sticking out to me. So if you guys want to learn more about, you know, Mercury retrograde and Saturn retrograde, you guys can look it up. I do know that Saturn stays retrograde till I think about October. I think it's like 4 months. So it's a little longer than Mercury retrograde, but like I said, there is something here that is being removed, okay? Like it's no longer being tolerated because there is an expansion of the heart that's happening. So let's see, what else can you tell me about what is being removed? Oof, I'm just gonna take that one. Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles. But it did come out in reverse. The Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so if you guys can see, like, she has, there's like a ballerina, right, in her mind. But if you look, I don't know if you guys can see, the shape of her, her brain, I guess we can call it, is a heart. It's a heart. So there could have been something that we were like trying to force, maybe like some, yeah, like a sense of impatience. We tried to force something, okay? And the reason why we try to force something is because we weren't allowing ourselves to be patient with something. And in doing so, it could have caused some sort of destruction as well in our lives. It could have been something physical, just because the Pentacles is a card of, you know, the physical world. It also, because there's so much green, and then seeing like the heart as like the brain, or not the brain, but like the skull, I guess. This is kind of, okay, so the feeling that I'm getting is like it's something from our childhood. Yes, the Seven of Pentacles doesn't really represent, you know, like that, that aspect in life. But that's just what I'm genuinely picking up, just because I'm looking at the image, right? I'm not really paying attention. Yes, it is a Seven of Pentacles, but I'm really looking at the image of this. This is some sort of behavior that we learned in childhood, okay? So instead of like allowing ourselves, you know, to review something, you know, to make sure everything's working out the way that it is, instead we try to force ourselves right onto it. We try to just kind of like rush the process of something, and in turn something came coming down. Let's see. because we didn't take our time with it, you know. It's like we wanted that instant gratification. I'm hearing too, this could be some sort of coping mechanism that is affecting us as well. Because, you know, a coping mechanism is also, in a sense, like it does represent impatience, because, you know, a coping mechanism, what does it do? It makes you feel good in that moment, right? So it's like, okay, I want to feel good right now, rather than allowing for the feeling or whatever it is, you know, to pass through us. But what we end up doing is, when we turn to a coping mechanism, we end up allowing for that energy to stay in our physical body. And not just the physical, but also like the ethereal body, you know, and like the aura and all that. Remember, we are more than our physical bodies. So we could have learned this from, because we did get the Emperor. The Emperor also came out in reverse. So we could have learned this from like a family member, a father figure, somebody who had like an authoritative place in our life. And then we have the Ten of Cups at the bottom. So it could be some sort of like family. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be a man. It could also be a woman, you know, who just embodies more of the masculine energy. Because I'm seeing like this Emperor, right? I'm seeing this Emperor. And sometimes to me, I feel like people in power really want that instant gratification. They want it now, right? So sometimes they go and do things that can affect other people, and they don't care, because it's like, well, I got what I wanted, you know, so fuck you. And then we also got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So to me, the Three of Pentacles, it's this energy of working with one another. You know, it's like a collaboration. To me, this is telling me that we didn't have a structure of working with one another. It's almost like we were left to fend for ourselves. I'm hearing we were very much provided within our physical needs, you know, as in like the material aspect. But we all know that we need more than just the physical, right? Than just the material. Let's see. So we got the Page of Cups, and then we also got the Page of Wands. Yeah, so let me look at this picture. Some of us could be dealing with like split personalities as well. So the cups represents our emotions, right? It's the element of water. And then the wands, it's the element of fire. It's our spirit. So there could have been something here where because we weren't being met on an emotional or spiritual level. Because this is still very like fresh, childlike energy that I'm picking up here. So the energy that I'm getting is that we still operate from like a child mindset, and it doesn't matter how old you are, because there's a part of us that is still left with this trauma. So it's almost like we don't even know ourselves. And that's why there's this split personality. Now, I'm not a doctor, you know, I'm not a medical professional. But from my own experience, you know, and the stuff that I've endured personally, this makes a lot of sense to me personally. You know what I mean? You know, we act one way, you know, 1 minute, and then it kind of just like changes up really quick on us. Like we change up on ourselves. Like, wait, whoa, you know, but it's because one of the main reasons is because we were not shown that emotional or spiritual, I want to say intimacy. I really do feel like intimacy is a really huge part in this reading. Okay, that one wanted to come out too. All right, so we have don't make assumptions, assume nothing. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think and we don't have to say what we want. We assume they are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. So the energy too that I'm getting from this is that, yes, we expect, you know, especially our parents to know better, right? But if your parents also grew up in a traumatic household, you know, they had a traumatic childhood, at the end of the day and wholeheartedly, they're not going to know better, and they're not going to teach you any better unless that person genuinely has taken the time to really look at themselves, to really look at their own behaviors, their own habits and stuff, and decide to break generational traumas. Nothing is going to change, right? So ultimately what this is telling me too is that, in a sense, people are always doing their best. Whether we see it as that or not, people are always doing their best, okay? And this is also telling me too, you know, we could have had issues growing up, you know, trying to express ourselves. I have a really good example. Just the other day, I wanted somebody to be there for me emotionally, right? I wanted just emotional support from them, nothing else. That's all I wanted. And this person just kept bringing up everything that they did for me physically. Like, I did this for you, and I did that, and this, and that. And I'm like, you're not listening to me. You're not listening to what I'm actually trying to say to you. You know, I appreciate everything you did for me physically. I was like, but I would like emotional support. And I got so mad because I'm like this person isn't understanding me. And then literally like the next day, or not even the next day actually, like that same day, but later on in the day, I was sitting there thinking, well, you know, this person has never been emotionally supportive. So how can I start expecting for this person to just be emotionally supportive, like, you know, when they've never been that way their whole lives? So you kind of have to take a step back and really look at things, you know, and really be like, oh, okay, you know what? This is a person that I can't go to for emotional support because they themselves don't know how to, and it's not anything personal, right? It has nothing to do with me personally. It's just that's how they are, and that's how they're choosing to stay. And that's okay, let them. But that doesn't mean that you have to have them in your life either, right? You don't have to have a person like that in your life if you don't want to. That is ultimately always up to you. So we have another, don't make assumptions. We have eliminate gossip. Making assumptions is a setup for suffering because usually we gossip about our assumptions. We make assumptions and believe we are right. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make others wrong. Exactly. Exactly. We make assumptions and believe we are right. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make others wrong, which is kind of what I was doing yesterday in that situation. Like, you're wrong, you know, because of this, this, and that. But who am I to say that? Yes, I've had experiences with this person, you know, but at the end of the day, I genuinely don't know you and what you've personally gone through on a deeper level. I don't know how you genuinely feel from within, you know? So I was just making all of these assumptions about this person. But I've also realized, you know, like I said, realizing how the person can play a role in your life, you know? Maybe you know that, let's say, maybe you know that somebody can help you, you know, with certain, you know, maybe physical needs, but you also know at the same time that that same person can't help you with emotional stuff. So you see, it's just having boundaries with people too, like putting those boundaries up, you know, and not allowing yourself to, you know, in a sense, speak ill about the person, because we don't really know what's going on, you know, within them. We have soul lesson, which is trust, the root chakra. And I'm going to read a little bit of this one from the book. It's actually the very first card too. What this is telling me as well, though, is we're learning how, we're learning how to trust ourselves, right? We're learning how to love ourselves. Like I said, I did feel this aspect of self-love coming up. And trusting ourselves is a part of cultivating self-love. So you have a feat of destiny and a creative destiny. You choose which one you experience by the octave of your thoughts, words, and actions. By choosing to become your own best friend, you are in a better position to observe what emotions, habits, and addictions take you away from or towards creative self-expression. So like I said, there's like some sort of habit here. There's some sort of coping mechanism that we've cultivated because, again, of being impatient, of wanting something now, right? Or wanting for something to go away like that. So that's why this is, yeah, that makes sense why I was picking up on self-love. Because when you're able to look at yourself, right? Like they said, your emotions, your habits, your addictions, when you genuinely get to look at that, you can start making different choices. Yep, and we have the 5 of Swords in reverse along with the 7 of Swords. So there has been self-deception, there has been self-betrayal, because we haven't been honest with ourselves. Now, I do think that that's starting to kind of, in a sense, eliminate itself, because I do feel like, you know, I do feel like the people who watch my videos do some sort of work, right? Do some sort of healing work, whether that's shadow work, whatever it is. We all do things differently, you know. There's no shame in how you go about something. But I do see that we're starting to really look at the things that are very self-destructive for us. Okay, and that's a start. That's really good. Awareness is, you know, the first step. So I'm going to get one more card. Yep, I was going to say, I knew that it was going to be the heart and the root chakra. So we got the heart chakra, which is breathe in prana. Breathe in life. It's time to breathe in life, right? It's time to breathe in life. Instead of these coping mechanisms that only help us for a little bit. So I'm going to end the reading off there because it's about to cut me off. I hope you guys have a really good day, and thank you for coming back.